Hello my dear learners, welcome to my channel. In the previous video, we learned what are the member of the class. So now in this video, we will learn about method overloading practically. So let's get started. Before starting of the practical, I will create a new folder named as Java, and now I am just opening the Sublime text editor. In that I will write down the code. So here I am just creating a class, say for example name as a calculation. So calculation is a class, right? I am creating another class, say for example it's a method overloading demo. Okay, I'm just copying the class name because I want to save the file. I will save the file now in the Java folder. I will save the file with the same class name. So for example in the Java folder I will paste it .java. Okay, so now in that I will write the main method, public static void main, and I am starting the cmd also for the output. So I will migrate to the particular location. In the Java folder we have the file. I am compiling the file javac method overloading demo.java. I am running the file now, Java method overloading demo. Okay, so I am just getting an error. I just need to change the name of the file, Java method overloading demo. Compiling successfully, now running successfully. Okay, so now if a class has a multiple method by same name but with a different parameter, it is known as a method overloading. I am creating a variable, say for example integer number 1. We know that it is an instance variable of the class. I will creating another variable, say for example integer number 2 semicolon. It is also an instance variable, so I will copy and paste it over here to determine the instance variable. So in the calculation is the class. Now I am creating a method, say for example void, let's say for example sum. Okay, so we have a method name as a sum. Okay, so and the return type of the sum is void. It means that this method will not return any value, right? So calculation is a class. The class has a two instance variable and a method name is sum. So now if a class have multiple method by same name but with the different parameter, it is known as method overloading, right? So we are discussing about the method overloading in this video. So in the previous video we have discussed a lot of things about the object oriented programming. What is class, what is object, what is instance variable, what is constructor, what is member of the class, what is the setter method, right? That is what we have discussed in the previous video. So here I am creating a file with the method overloading, and I am just creating an object, say for example calculation obj equal to new calculation and round bracket start over semicolon, right? So this constructor will be called and the object will be created. Object name is obj and the constructor will be called name as a calculation. So calculation is our class, and this constructor is a default constructor will be called whenever the object is created. That is what we have discussed in the previous lectures also. Okay, so here what I have done over here, I have created an object name as obj. That obj object is a of the calculation class. So calculation class has the instance variable and the method. So now I will just call a method using that obj dot sum. So sum is our method and obj is our object. So in the method I will write, say for example I will just simple write number 1 equal to 10 semicolon and number 2 equal to 20. So now I am assigning the value to the variable, and system.out.println I will print the output, say for example number 1 plus number 2. Okay, I am concatenating with the static value sum equal to. So sum equal to is a static value and number 1 plus number 2, that is what we have done with the arithmetic, right? So here we have created two variable and we have initialized that variable in the method. So when this method will be called, the value is initialized in the variable and then we have printed the values number 1 plus number 2. Now I am compiling the file and I am running the file. As in output we can say sum equal to 10 20. So here the logical error, right? So plus operator here is used for the concatenation. I will provide the bracket over here. Compile again, run again, and now we are getting the output sum equal to 20. So this is what we have created a method name as a sum, and that method is not returning any value. It is just processing something and give the output on the console. So I am creating another method name as a sum. See over here, my friends, I am creating another method name as a sum, right? So in the calculation class we have two methods with the same name, but the parameter over here is I am providing integer number 1 comma integer number 2. So in this method we have two parameter, two argument, number 1 and number 2, and both are the integer type. So this number 1 instance variable is different, and here in the parameter we have created number 1 is a difference, right? This is what we have discussed in the previous lectures also. We have created a sum method with number 1 and number 2 parameter, that instance variable is also have the same name. So what if I need to initialize these two variable from this method? Say for example, here I have written integer number 1 and integer number 2. So here on the line number 10, I have overloaded a method named as a sum with two parameter, integer number 1 and integer number 2. In the first sum method on the line number 5, that is we have defined, we have assigned the variable number 1 and number 2 with 10 and 20 value respectively, right? So what we can do that, now what we have is, we have the number 1 and number 2 as an instance variable, and number 1 and number 2 as a method parameter. That is what we have is, we now the sum is also overloaded method and obj is the object. So I will call the method obj.sum, but to call the parameterized constructor need to pass the value 10 comma 20. So that 10 will be goes into number 1 and 20 will be goes into number 2 parameter. So now what we need to do is, we need to assign this value to our instance variable number 10. These two are the parameter name as number 1 and number 2, right? So what I need to do is, I need to write these dot number 1 equal to number 1, okay, and then semicolon this number 1, and here I will write the okay, number 1 over here, that is okay, number 10 and number 20. If you write the different variable, then there is no need to write these over here, right? You can directly write number 1 equal to number 10 and number 2 equal to number 20. You can directly write that, right? So you can see over here, number 1 equal to number 10, number 2 equal to number 20. You can do directly, because why? Because the instance variable and the parameter name are the different now. That's why you can do that. I am just compiling the file, running the file. So sum equal to 20, that is okay. And in that method we do not have written any printing statement, so we do not getting the output on the particular for the particular overloaded method, right? But the value is initialized in the instance variable. And on the line number 18 we have called a sum method with no parameter, and on the line number 19 we have called a sum method with two parameters, right? So what I will do, I will copy this line and paste it over here. Say for example, sum with two parameter. Okay, I am just saving the file now, and I am compiling the file and running the file. See in the output, sum equal to 30 and sum with two parameter equal to 30. So number here what the difference is, the instance variable and parameter name is both are different. That is why we do not use these keyword over here. But if in the case the instance variable name and the parameter name is the same, at that time you need to initialize the instance variable by using these keyword. That is what we have discussed in our previous lectures also. So I am requesting you that please watch my previous video to understand these keyword also. So say for example, now we have number here over here and number 1 over here and number 2 over here as a parameter. So I need to write these dot number 1 equal to number 1, and here I need to write these dot number 2 equal to number 2. Let's run again, compile it, run it. Now you can see the output is we have the same output, right, on the console, but the approach of coding is different now. Now we have instance variable and parameter are same name. That is why we are initializing the instance variable by using these keyword. So here we have overloaded two method name as sum. Sum is a method in the class calculation. We have overloaded the sum method. So there are two ways to overload a method. Now what I am doing over here is, this is what we have created a method overloading. Here we have done the method overloading for the particular in the particular class. Method name is sum and another method name is sum. We have two methods with the same name in one class, but the parameter is different. That is why we can call it a overloading, right? So there are two ways to overload a method. First, by changing the number of argument, and second, by changing the data type. There are no any argument, and here we have two argument, right? So this is what we have done, method overloading, by changing the number of argument. That is also possible. I will give you the demonstration for the second way also. But what in this program we have done, we have overloaded the sum method by changing the number of argument, right? So if you write third method over here also with another argument, another type of argument, another number of argument, so these can be a different type of method overloading, right? Suppose if I am writing another sum over here, and in that particular sum I will write only one parameter with a different data type. That is also a possible way to overload a method, right? Suppose I am writing void sum over here, and there are void sum over here, and there are a parameter integer number 1. So there are only one parameter now. Say for example, right? So we have overloaded a sum method with one parameter. Here I need to write these dot number 1 equal to number 1. Okay. So this instance variable is initialized now in the particular sum method on the line number 10, right? So this value is initialized for the number 1 variable by the particular sum method. That is what we have overloaded the method. Here I am giving you the demonstration for the overloading by changing the number of argument. So as you can see in the code, we have changed the number of argument. Say for example, on line number 5, we do not have any argument, any parameter. On line number 10, we have one parameter. On line number 14, we have two arguments. So that is why we are called is a method overloading. So what is method overloading? Say for example, if a class have a multiple method by the same name, but with different parameter and different data type, is also known as a method overloading. That is, I have given you the definition for the overloading. I hope you are understanding this concept of method overloading very well. I am calling the method obj dot number 2 equal to 30. I am accessing the variable of the class, right? So now number 2 has the 30 value. Number 2 is an instance variable and obj is the object of the calculation class. So that is what we have discussed in the previous lecture also. You can directly access the instance variable of the class by using object and dot operator, right? So here we have assigned the value 30 to the number 2 instance variable for the object obj, and that object is of the class calculation. So I am compiling the file, I am running the file. Say for example, output will be the same because we do not have written print statement. I will write over here system.out.println sum with one parameter, and what I am doing over here is I am printing the sum also, because the number 1 is initialized by the method and number 2 is initialized by the object on the line number 24 with the 30 value, right? So I will write obj dot sum. I will pass only one parameter over here, say for example 50. So that 50 will goes into the number 1 variable on the line number 10, and this variable initialized by the number 1, this is an instance variable of the class, initialized by the number 1 variable, and then we have printed sum with one parameter and number 1 plus number 2. We have done the arithmetic operation for the addition only. This is I am giving you the demonstration to clear your concept for the method overloading. What is method overloading? If you watch my video continuously, you will have thoroughly knowledge for the Java and object oriented programming. So here we have three method with the same name but with the different number of parameter. So that is what we have I have given you the demonstration for the method overloading by changing the number of argument. There are another ways. Say for example, you can change data type for the method overloading also. Okay, so I will give you the demonstration for the method overloading by changing the data type in this video only. So now I am compiling the file, now I am running the file. Now in the output we have sum equal to 30, sum with 1 parameter and sum with 2 parameter, right? That is what we have called a method with no argument, with 1 argument and with 2 argument when we are calling the method. Now I am giving you the demonstration for the method overloading by changing the data type. So now I am creating another file, and to give you the demonstration I am writing a class. Say for example, class name is calculation. I am creating another class. Say for example, calculation demo 2, and I just want to save the file first. So I am changing the class name, copying the class name, and save the file, paste it over here, .java. So now the file name is calculation demo 2.java, and in that I have written a main method. Now I am compiling the file, calculation demo 2.java compiled, and now I am running the file java calculation demo. Okay, here is a typo error. I need to write demo over there. I am saving the file now and compiling the file java c calculation demo 2.java. Okay, and then I will run the file calculation demo 2. Okay, so file is now compiled successfully and run successfully. I am writing over here, I am creating a variable, instance variable. Say for example, integer number 1 and integer number 2. I am giving you the demonstration for the by changing the data type, method overloading by changing the data type of the parameter. Here I am writing a method name as a sum, and that method has the return type integer, right? Here also I am writing the method with the return type integer, right? So what I have done over here is I have created a method. I will write void over here now. Say for example, on the line number 5 has the sum method with return type void, and on line number 8 is the sum method with return type void. So we have two methods with same name and same return type. So now what I need to do is so that is what we have done. You can change the parameter over here. Okay, this is I am writing number 1. I am removing that. Say for example, I am writing the print method now, and over here I will also write the print method. Okay, I am just giving you the demonstration for the different purpose. Integer number 1 is a first argument for the print method, and here I will write these dot number 1 equal to number 1. So number 1 instance variable is initialized now, system dot out dot println. Say for example, here I will write integer argument, right? So the argument is integer now. On the line number 4 the method name is print and has one argument. Okay, so I will just create a object for the calculation class, obj equal to new calculation. Okay, and then I will call the print method by using the object, and this print method has one parameter. So when I need to call the method, I need to put the value for the argument when I want to call it. So in the calculation class we have two methods with the same name. Return type is also same, but the argument is different. So you can say it is by changing the number of argument. That is what we have done with the previous program also. So now I will call the method by using the obj method, obj object, obj dot print. Say for example, if I need to call the print method, I need to create an object for the particular class, and over here I have created object name as obj. So if I want to call the print method, I need to have a object. So I am writing obj dot sum. Okay, we do not have sum method right now. We do have the print method, right? So I will call a print method. Okay, so I am just copying the line over here and paste it over here. System.out.println, and here I will write a no argument. So this is what with we do not have an argument for the print method on line number 8. Okay, so I will call the method obj.print without passing any value to the method. Right, so that 15 line number 15 will call to the method. I am just compiling the file, I am just running the file. First no argument and integer argument 10. So 10 is our argument, that is what we have passed by the line number 16. So this print method is overloaded, but what if I have a parameter over here also. Say for example, I will write string number 1. This is what we have done with the by changing the data type. See over here my friends, both print method have the same name, same return type and one argument. So I will assign this value these dot number 1 equal to number 1, and I have written string argument plus number 1 concatenating. So here I will pass the value 20. Okay, I am writing over here, and what over here is obj.print on line number 16 we have passed the 10 as an integer value, so that will call the integer parameter method, and on the line number 17 we have called the 20 with a string, right? So this will call the print method with a string parameter line number 8. So number one is now a as a parameter, and the value is initialized in the instance variable name as number 1. And in the next line we have written system.out.println string argument. So we have to differ that what are the integer argument and what are the string argument. So I need to change it integer dot parse int, because this integer value cannot be converted to the string value cannot be converted to the integer directly. We do have to convert by the externally. Not it is not going to be internally. We do have we need to do it externally. So as an output we got integer and string both. So here we have overloaded a print method by changing the data type. You can see both method have the only one argument, but the data type of the argument is different. That is why this is called a method overloading by changing the data type of the parameter. Now I am compiling the file. Say for example, as you can see in the output, integer argument 10 and string argument 20. So we have passed the 10 as an integer and 20 as a string value. This is what we have done the demonstration for the method overloading by changing the data type. Of the parameter. And here what we have discussed, this program was the method overloading by changing number of argument. So you can overload a method by two ways, by changing the number of argument and by changing the data type. So here we have two methods with the same name and one parameter only, but with the different data type. So that's all from my side guys for the method overloading. In the next video, we will learn about method overloading, garbage collection and a super keyword. So stay tuned with this channel. Please subscribe, share and comment on this video. Thank you guys.